Most people obsess over training and diet, but completely ignore sleep. Yet, fixing your sleep can be the biggest cheat code for fat loss, muscle recovery, and even mental clarity. But why should you listen to me? I've been training since I was 13, now 26, and I've gone through multiple fat loss journeys myself. On one of them, I lost nearly 30 pounds, and on one of them, I lost more than 20 pounds. I built a lean and aesthetic physique by doing the fundamentals correctly, not magic. I've also coached friends in real life, teaching them form, technique, and training principles, and they've gone on to train comfortably and confidently on their own. Now, I share what I've learned, so you don't have to waste years piecing random advice together. Now, when it comes to sleeping, boys, I think everybody knows that you need to be sleeping at least 7 to 9 hours. You're not lazy if you want to be sleeping more. Sleeping more is an indicator of metabolic health. So if you're someone who needs to sleep at least about 10 hours every single day, sometimes you even after 10 hours of sleep, you might feel like you've not slept enough or you feel you don't feel rested. It might be a sign of metabolic health, which is quite negative, to be honest. And it's not a good sign. You need to get that sorted, you need to get that fixed out. I'll probably address that in a different video but for the moment, most people, like 90% of people, sleeping 7 to 9 hours of good quality sleep will be enough to basically let you recover. And if you're someone who sleeps, say for example, one day you sleep at 11 p.m., next day you sleep at 1 a.m., next day you sleep at 3 a.m., then back to 12 p.m., then back to 11 p.m., that's not very ideal. And the thing is, your body always thinks you're traveling. For example, if you go back to the caveman days, your sleep schedule was quite irregular and always changing and always moving. The body would think, you know what, we're not safe. We've not got a safe place to sleep. And the similar thing applies in real life. Your body might think you're traveling, and the body definitely thinks that we're traveling, and it just does not get a full rest. So more important than the hours, I won't say more important, but on par with the amount of hours you sleep, you need to be sleeping at the same time. Within about, I would say 10 to 15 minutes, you need to sleep similar time. So if you go sleep at 10 p.m. or whatever your time is, it can even be a bit late. You know, to be honest, I go sleep quite late, but I try and keep it at the same time. Something that's quite repeatable, something that's sustainable. So for me, it's like for years and years, I slept at 2 a.m. and then I woke up at 10 a.m. for years. It was during coronavirus time. But the thing is, during that time, I felt like I was getting a good rest. I was getting a good sleep. I was getting rest. I never felt like I was missing out on anything, if that makes sense. But for example, when I first got my job, when I first started working, what happened was I started sleeping a bit earlier naturally because obviously I had to wake up a bit earlier. So I would go sleep at 11 p.m. and I would wake up at 7 p.m. And the thing is, when I started doing that, I felt horrible. I felt like I had no energy whatsoever. So timing matters a lot. I don't know what it was or why I felt like that, but just because I was still getting 8 hours of sleep. But if you just move the sleep time a bit, a bit further on, I felt like that was just suiting me better. And that's just something that I was used to. Even after months of work, every morning I would be tired. I would be tired until I made the switch to, I would wake up even more earlier. I would wake up at no, sorry, I would still wake up at 7 a.m., but I would go to the gym first thing in the morning, and that would pretty much wake me up. And so what I'm trying to say here is the quality of the sleep is more important than the quantity of sleep. Of course, ideally, in an ideal world, you'd have both. You have, say, 8 hours of quality sleep. But if you're someone who's right now, your sleep schedule is quite irregular, try and solve that out. Try and get, a repeatable, sustainable sleep time. If you go to sleep at 1 a.m. every single day, even when you have work, don't think that, don't set yourself like a 9 p.m. bedtime because you know in your head you're not going to stick to that. So make sure you be realistic. Make sure you sleep on time. Have a sleep time, pretty much, and a wake time as well. And the next thing you do is more important when you wake up as well. But the thing you want to do when you wake up is you want to get sunlight in your eyes. And what that does is it'll help you fall asleep because once you wake up, the body will produce hormones, provided you go outside and in the sunlight and get sunlight directly in your eyes. The brain will tell the body, okay, like Ismail's awake or whatever your name is, right? John's awake. Pump it full of the hormones that he needs for the morning so he can get energy. Because typically in the morning you need energy to go to work. So the body will do that. And then naturally, as the day goes on, those hormones would slow down and you'll start producing melatonin, which is the sleep hormone. After you do that, when it's naturally time, when it gets later on in the day, you just naturally want to go sleep because the thing is, once you woke up in the morning, you got sunlight in your eyes, you told your body, I'm awake. And naturally within 12 or 14 or 16 hours, whatever it is, the body tells them, okay, it's going to be time for him to go sleep now. So start producing the rest hormones so he can get a good rest and sleep. And so he can repeat, he can have a good productive day, he can have a energetic day tomorrow. And some people, and some people, as even myself included, For a long time, I had issues with actually staying asleep. I'd fall asleep, I would fall asleep at whatever time, but I would wake up in the middle of the night, either for a wee or like lights, like LED lights would wake me up in my room. So if I can give you a clue, not a clue, sorry, if I can give you like a secret, it's to absolutely black out your room. Black out any LEDs, black out like if you have a router, cover something or put something in the way of the router. I remember in my old bedroom, I had a router in my room and it would always be flashing lights. So what I did was I put this same exact chair and I would just kind of block out the router so I didn't see the LED lights. And some things you can't put something on top of it. It's in a bit of an awkward position. What you need to do is get some kind of tape, like duct tape or black tape, or thick tape, and just literally cover the light. Just cover the light, and it'll make a massive difference because your eyes open every 2 to 4 hours, I think, and they open for 5 seconds. And you don't even know this. It'll open for 3 or 5 seconds. And the thing it does is because of predators. It just sees like you're not getting attacked by a tiger or a lion or something along the lines of that. So the reason it does that is basically, but the thing is the LEDs or like any standby lights, it can 100% wake you up and keep you awake. You might think to yourself sometimes, when you're asleep, like, oh, why have you woken up? And then you open your eyes and the first thing you see is like a charging light or something, a light. It's 100% always a light for me. So make sure you black out any lights. And get blackout curtains as well, which is a massive cheat code. Because sometimes in the summer, the sun comes up quite early. And for example, say you need to go to the bathroom at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, odds are it's going to be light outside. And if you open your eyes, you're basically telling the brain knows, okay, this guy's waking up. Get rid of all his, melatonin he's got. Basically, you'll just lose your sleep. You'll lose that feeling of fatigue. But the thing is, your body will be fatigued, your mind will be awake. It's a bit of a weird one. But make sure you get blackout curtains. And if you know it's gonna be sunny, I need to go for a wee, then try and keep your eyes as like squinted as possible. Me, I can go to the bathroom with my eyes crossed, so it's alright for me. But if you're someone who can be a little bit, you need to have some lights on, then try and train yourself to know how the lights on because you can 100% ruin your sleep. Now, there's some things you need to do before you go to sleep as well. So have a sleep routine. For me, it could be very simple. For me, I go to the bathroom, I brush my teeth, I wash my face, and I don't go on my phone after that. I try not to go on my phone. If you're someone who just set an alarm, then set your alarm whilst you're brushing your teeth, or better yet, get an alarm clock. Don't put an alarm on your phone after you brush your teeth. Just put an alarm clock on and put your phone to the side. And another thing you could do is read a book. I don't know why, but reading a book has like calming effects on the eyes. But once you get into bed, try and read something just so simply your eyes can relax. And the thing that's actually helped me quite a bit is when I used to go sleep, I would always have like thoughts. I would constantly be thinking. It would also be like when I would have a long commute the next day, I would always be thinking about stuff, and sometimes I would not get sleep at all. So what I started doing was I started journaling at night. I would just write down my thoughts, my ideas, and what that does is it tells the brain, okay, we don't need to worry about these issues right now because we've written them down. And that makes a massive difference because there's just a big peace of mind that you have. Yeah, it's very weird way. It's kind of like a medicine. And the thing is, after you do it a few times, you kind of have peace of mind. You have clarity. If you're someone like me who had that issue, where I found it very hard to go sleep. It was only on certain times, like for example, after that commute was done, on the next day I didn't really have to go anywhere. I would work, it was a weekend. Then I would fall asleep fine. I would not have any worries. But as soon as I knew in my head I've got a long commute, even coming up, even if it was in the next few days, I would just be worrying about it. It was really weird. But yeah, as you start, writing stuff down, start journaling. Next thing you need to do, boys, there's supplements as well. And I don't want to kind of push you into supplements if you already have a good enough sleep. For me, when I first started working, how I told you, I would always feel like shit in the morning. At night as well, I couldn't really go sleep. I don't know why. Maybe because I was just so used to sleeping at 2 a.m. and waking up at 10 a.m. To go and sleep at 11 p.m. was hard. But it was even after weeks and weeks of working, I was like, you know what? I need to find something. So at first, I started taking ashwagandha. I took that for about 15 months. I took ashwagandha, and then I transitioned over to magnesium glycinate. I think it was about 2023 or 2022. I moved over to magnesium glycinate, and simple because it had the same effect of ashwagandha, but ashwagandha, you kind of become a zombie. Like you have no thoughts. you lose like your creativity, you become a bit of a zombie. So yeah, I started taking magnesium glycinate, and to be honest, I still take it to this day. I take, with the rest of my supplements, I take it, which is around 10 p.m. I don't, there's no science behind that. I just take it at 10 p.m. because that's from my fasting window. And yeah, magnesium glycinate is really, really good. It helps calm me down. And everyone is pretty much deficient in magnesium. So if you're someone who's already feeling like, you know what, I want to gain some kind of, I want to take some supplement to help me sleep. I also want to get magnesium in as well, because magnesium is really, really good for you. So get magnesium, it helps relax you, helps you wind down. And me personally, because I've been taking it at 10 p.m., I've kind of always had to take it a couple of hours before I go to sleep. And I think that covers everything, boys. And your sleep is very, very important. Thing is, once, if you have a poor sleep right now, you might not even know you have poor sleep, but after you correct your sleep, which is something that I did, it makes a massive difference to your mood, how you feel, how much energy you have, how you perform in the gym as well, how you recover. And of course, how you recover affects all your hormones, affects how much gains you can make. Poor sleep, it'll raise your cortisol, right? And cortisol is obviously a stress hormone. And that in itself is very, very bad. It'll make you hold water, which will make you puffy. It can even kill training performances. And the thing is, actually, I forgot I mentioned this. They did a study. I'm not sure if I'll better link the study, but the likelihood of you binging out and not sticking to your diet if you have a poor sleep compared to someone who has a good sleep is like 100% higher. Like there's double the chance. Like for me as well, if I have a poor sleep and I see a packet of crisps, then that packet of crisps will look absolutely enticing and delicious. But if I'm someone who's had a good like 8-9 hours sleep, fully restful sleep without any interruptions, then I'll have that thing in my mind. I don't want to eat that crisp. Right? I just don't want it. Even if I do, I'll have that willpower. But once you have like a poor sleep, then that willpower kind of dwindles a bit. And another thing I forgot to mention, boys, not forgot to mention, but I might as well add it in right now. If you're someone who needs to frequently go to the bathroom, then don't have water after a certain amount of time. Like after, say, like 10 p.m., don't have any water, because if you know you're waking up and it's disrupting your sleep, it's interrupting your sleep, then don't have water, because it's obviously making you wake up and affecting your sleep. And I think that's it, boys. So if you want any more advice on, how to sleep, how to eat, how to train, then join my free screen community. The link will be in the description below, the first one. Click on that. Thank you.